Okay, let's start with what I believe to be a fundamental truth in life. You can be good at anything, but you can't be good at everything. Meaning if you stretch yourself over too many projects, too many endeavours, you'll never take full advantage of everything you have to offer. The secret to any progress I've made in life has been through organisation and clarity. You know, clarity comes first, but sometimes this is the hardest part because it means really having the ability to listen to your heart. And more than that, it means actually following that inner advice, despite external pressures or any fears. And it's why I really admire people like Bruce Lee, who really commit to the exploration of the inner self. This gives him the power to go out into the world with his mind, body, and soul aligned with some sort of purpose. And for me, I know when I'm not aligned because I get overwhelmed, I get frustrated. And when this continues for too long, it's usually a sign that your current living situation isn't working and a change is needed. But we'll get back to this shortly. What have I learned from 22 weeks of videos every Monday? I made a commitment and I had this idea of working towards some form of mastery. And the commitment was this: make a video essay every week. You know, this was a huge ask because some video essays have taken me 3 to 4 months to put together. And I'd like to think that some of the videos in the last 10 weeks have been some of my best. So what led to this personal evolution? This is where the organization comes in.
I should get one of those signs that says one of these days I'm going to get organized.
You mean organized?
Organized. It's a joke.
Step number 1, super clarity. Upload one video every Sunday night for Monday morning, no matter what. Step number 2, fundamentals. I've been guilty of this in the past, thinking that there's been more than the fundamentals and always looking for more and new information. From studying a lot of masters in different areas and from 5 years of YouTube and especially the last 22 weeks of immersion, I can tell you that the fundamentals stay the same. But what happens after weeks of work, you'll become so intimately familiar with these steps that more depth and detail will reveal themselves to you in each of these areas. And before you know it, that fundamental step that you thought you could do because you could take it off actually has so much more subtle steps and requires more concentration and more time than you first thought. Every 1% that you can improve in any fundamental area will translate into a better finished product or a better work of art. Step number 3, the weekly schedule. After uploading Sunday night, it was straight to work on the Monday morning for the next video. The best part of this was it took all your attention away from that previously uploaded video. So if it didn't go viral or didn't have lots of views or amazing comments, you wouldn't let the reality of its exposure determine how you felt about that video, or even worse, how you felt about yourself. I definitely learned this lesson the hard way. So I had a list of potential ideas and I knew pretty much which one I was going to start the Monday morning. So I could jump into research, note-taking, and basically from Monday to Thursday, Friday, I'd research, rewatch, and basically think about the idea of this video. I found that by merely letting my subconscious go to work on an idea, by keeping it present but without forcing things, it would always result in a well-baked approach for the video by the Friday. The most difficult part was writing the project, which I do electronically in Evernote so that I could shuffle and edit things. After finishing a script, I used to immediately move on. But from this block of learning, it became clear to me that this is the most important area which requires the most amount of work, because there's no way to save this in the edit. The main thing I was striving for here was clarity and a sense of pacing. And what I noticed was in my better videos, I already knew what visuals I was going to edit to. And the rougher videos, I had to figure this out in the edit. So as you're writing, try and visualize the video playing in your head if possible. So by Friday, Saturday, I'd finished the script and usually recorded the audio. Again, I learned to do this several times instead of just taking the first one that I got through. I'd gather footage and music on the Saturday, and then Sunday all day I'd edit an entire video. This was a huge ask. The sheer amount of work that had to be done to finish something like a video essay in one day was insane. But knowing the visuals ahead of time and having the footage and the music ready was key. It also meant that my editing improved because I spent solid hours of focus on any project. As a byproduct of making this commitment, I had to force myself to be creative even if I didn't feel like it. This was a huge lesson because I only had a day to edit, or I needed to finish a script by Friday, and I'd have to power through any doubt, any lack of motivation. And to be honest, once you get past the first 5 minutes of your own self-created resistance, you just get to work and you forget about all that. But this wouldn't have happened without a level of commitment and accountability to you, the audience. Step number 4, the daily architecture. If you care enough, you'll find the time. I mean, plain and simple. But you can't maintain this attitude of chaos for very long. You need a system. You need a game plan. Something that protects your creative time. And even if it's just time set aside to think. Sometimes in those early weekdays, I wouldn't even write anything, wouldn't take notes. I'd just think about things. I would maybe listen to some music and imagine how I would edit to it. It's hard to explain this to other people, but you need to protect that creative time for yourself. And this is what it would look like. These are my working hours. These are fixed and there's nothing I can do about these. So these are set in stone. I need to go to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. Otherwise I don't feel good and then I have nothing to offer creatively. The morning hours were about preparation. I did some Wim Hof breathing. I recapped a few truths that kept me focused. And I needed to be asleep for around 10ish so that I could maintain my energy to be creative and be physical all day. So these are the remaining areas of space which I could work on videos. Most of Saturday would be channel work and Sunday would be blocked off completely for editing. But also energetically, this schedule was designed to help me keep balanced. I've made this mistake thousands of times by going non-stop and just burning out, and it would take weeks to bounce back. So within each day I had some energy gathering time, and then I had time for aggressive action and making things happen. The morning was about gathering, then I went to work. Then I'd have a little peace point for 10-15 minutes and then it'd be back to work. And then the evening would either be a relaxation or it'd be more work if I had time. And that's pretty much it. I just repeated this for 22 weeks solid and hopefully I got better along the way. But we need to go back and we need to talk about alignment. There's 4 main areas in life that I'm trying to improve in. My work, which has a set time for development, my body, which has scheduled time at the gym, my channel, which is taking over my life, and then my filmmaking aspirations, which has 0 dedicated time. And as much as I've tried, I can't seem to juggle anymore. So going back to, you can be good at anything, but you can't be good at everything. So let's talk about alignment. I knew the time would come where I'd have to shift gears and focus more on film production. And I feel like all the character traits and work ethic that I've developed through this channel will be very useful in the next step. This channel was always intended to be the byproduct of my own study of films, but it's kind of taken over and become the main focus, and filmmaking has kind of taken a back seat. So as much as I love the creative process and engaging with people regularly here, I'll consider this channel a failure if I don't go out there and prove this vision I have for myself to the very end. Otherwise, what's the point of this study? What's the point of this journey? Now comes the time for application. You know, Charlie Chaplin had a great quote which went, "Imagination is nothing without doing." So it's been a difficult decision to make, but I'm going to have to put down this channel for a while until I make some progress on what I hope will be a low to no budget feature film. I'm planning on doing some video updates, more of a kind of vlog style, and perhaps answering some questions on the challenges that I face in story development. But as for video essays, I'm bringing this phase of the channel to a close for a while. The learning over the last 22 weeks has been incredibly useful and an educational distraction from what is my actual goal of becoming a filmmaker. And just like the slow and steady evolution of immersion, I anticipate the same thing will happen with filmmaking. So step number 1 for me now is make a confidence building practice film. My intuition tells me that this is a necessary and important choice that I have to make. And having recently seen films like Swiss Army Man and The Disappearance of Alice Creed, they get me excited about filmmaking, and my appetite for cinema has been larger than ever. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you for the continued support over the last 5 years in this kind of YouTube medium. And I 100% want to continue to share this evolution and study of film, but right now I don't know what that looks like. I'm trading in this video essay phase of confidence and knowledge that I've built to enter a new stage of uncertainty, which is scary but exciting. And that's a great place to be. There's power in becoming a beginner again. So I guess this video was less of a goodbye and more of a let's see what the rest of this journey looks like.